Welcome to Big Money Sales Moves, the podcast for powerhouse coaches, consultants, and entrepreneurs who are ready to scale with confidence and consistent cash flow. I'm your host, Karissa Atkins, speaker, author, and creator of the $1 Million Sales Matrix. Here is where we break through the industry lies that keep women overworked and underpaid. Say goodbye to bro tactics and burnout, and hello to alpha queen strategies. Sales, premium client attraction, and CEO-level leadership that makes scaling simpler, faster, and more profitable. If you're ready to step into your $1 Million era and make your next big money move, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Hey, what's up, you guys? What's up, ladies? Hello. Welcome back to another kick-ass episode of Big Money Sales Moves. I'm your girl, Karissa, the no BS coach for ambitious women who are done flirting with their potential and ready to sell, live, and lead like a seven-figure CEO. So today we are diving into pillar number one, yet again, the $1 Million Sales Matrix, which is all around what we call the quantum energetics, aka your mindset, your energy, and your identity. And if you're wondering why we're talking all about this and not so much sales and marketing, then you're really not listening to me yet. And I want to just scream it right now into your ear. Sales and marketing, branding, business development, all of that stuff, right? It's all driven by your mindset. Our success is all driven by our mindset. So we are going to be talking a lot about mindset, energy, and identity over the next couple of weeks because, ladies, strategy is not going to save you in your business, but what will save you is your mindset. So today's episode is all around a success code that I called delivery. And delivery really comes down to how you reprogram your mind so that your thoughts, so that your beliefs, and so your energy actually deliver the results that you desire in your business. Here's the truth. You don't get what you want. You get what your nervous system is coded to receive. And once you learn how to upgrade your internal codes, your thoughts, your beliefs, and your identity, everything changes. Right? So we're going to keep it super simple today. So even if you have never studied mindset work or never studied neuroscience or manifesting before, if you've never studied any of that, you're going to totally get it. One of my clients, well, not all, I shouldn't say one, lots of my clients always say, Karissa, I love how you keep things very simple. You don't talk over me. We totally understand exactly what you're saying and how you explain things. So I promise I will do the exact same thing here today. So here's what we're going to cover in less than 30 minutes. So make sure you get your pen and paper out because today is going to be a game changer for all of you women who are really actively trying to grow your companies and build your most epic AF life. Okay, so we're going to cover 4 parts. The first thing we're going to cover is the 3 parts of your brain and what they actually do. Okay, then we're going to cover the difference between the conscious and the unconscious mind. Then we're going to talk about how your beliefs are formed and stored. And of course, we're going to wrap up with how you can reprogram those beliefs using what I call the thought swapper. Okay, I know it's a funny thing to say, but we're going to say it a lot today. So just get used to me saying the thought swapper. And you know what? You can go ahead and practice saying it right now because it's actually kind of hard to say. All right. So this episode really does set the tone for the next couple of weeks because next time we're going to talk about the habits that protect your CEO energy. And then we're going to move into actually how to upgrade your identity. It's going to be a game changer. Like, I am so freaking excited to kind of move in to this new, version of podcasting where I'm so freaking real with you. I'm so raw with you, and I'm giving you the behind the scenes of what actually has worked in my company and what is working with all of my clients to help them ultimately get to those 10, 20, 30, even 100K months. Okay. And I know it's not about money, guys. It is a lot about impact. But we all know that income and impact are both fantastic, right? So we're going to talk about both of those things. All right. So let me start off with one of my very favorite metaphors. When it comes to life and business, I like to think of them as the game of Mario Kart. Now, I don't know if you've ever played Mario Kart, but when I was a little girl and as an adult, I played a lot of Mario Kart, right? When I was little, I played it nonstop. If I wasn't in the gym, practicing my gymnastics moves, if I wasn't watching my parents work, in the back of their shop, me and my brothers were playing Mario Kart, and I got good. I'm talking like red smoke, drift around the corner type good. But sometimes I got hit with that green shell or that lightning bolt or, watch some magical, like I would watch my brothers like magically jump over the rock and skip half of the track. And at first, I would literally yell at them and be like, "You are freaking cheating. This is not fair. I don't want to play anymore." You know what I'm talking about if you've ever played Mario Kart, especially the old one on Nintendo 64. I don't even play the Wii. I don't play any of the new stuff. I'm super old school when it comes to playing a game, and I still kick ass at it, by the way. Me and my husband have we're very competitive in such a healthy way, but we have like this chalkboard on our wall, and it literally tracks both my husband and I every time we win, whether it's Mario Kart or Rummy or bowling or whatever. Like, we are very, very competitive, and like I said, in a healthy way. But I still kick his ass on Mario Kart because I'm good at it, right? Why am I so good at it? Well, it's because I've put in all the reps all of those years, just like in business. So one day, right, to take you back to Mario Kart, there was one day that I realized something as my brother was literally freaking smoking me on this one track. He would always jump that rock, and it would like literally save him 2 freaking minutes. It's like one of the longest tracks. It's the most annoying track for me. And I realized one day that if he could learn how to jump over the rock and skip 2 minutes of that boring ass track, then I could learn it too. And that was my very first experience with this cheat code. And once I figured it out, oh my God, I started winning, right? And business success are the same, you guys. Once you know the cheat codes, once you understand how your mind actually works, you start to move faster, smoother, and with way less stress. So today I'm going to give you the first big code in the 10 quantum leaping codes that I quite often teach and share with my clients and on stage. Honestly, I share this. This is a very, very famous keynote. Everyone wants to know the 10 cheat codes. I literally only give people 2 or 3 at a time, and they're like, "Give me more." And then they go, of course, buy, the 10 success code course that I have. But anyways, okay, so today I'm going to give you the first big code so that you can start to understand your mind. So more importantly, you can win the game you're playing. Just the other day, I was telling my client, I was like, "How do you expect to win at this thing called business if you don't understand the rules?" We were literally mapping out our Black Friday offers, and I like to break down how those big box companies, how they use marketing, how they use, NLP, how they use language to shift the buyer's, perspective. And they're literally advertising. Like, I like to show how big box companies are doing it. And I break it down so that the little coaches who are solo coaches can do it too. So once you know the game and you know the cheat codes, you can ultimately win at anything. All right, so let's start with the basics. I'm just going to start with the basics. When it comes to our brain, right, we all have a brain, and there are 3 main parts of the brain, okay? And when they're starting to work together, you become unstoppable, okay? Now, there are 3 parts of the brain, like I said. The first part that I want to talk about is what we call the fear part of the brain. Also called the survival brain or the reptilian brain, right? So this part of your brain is freaking ancient, and it only cares about one freaking thing. Can you guess it? If you said keeping you safe, you are absolutely 100% right. And if you're like, "Oh my God, I didn't even realize there was this part of your brain." Yes, girl, yes, right? There's a part of your brain that wants to keep you safe. It doesn't care about your dreams. It doesn't care about your business. It doesn't even care about your income or your financial goals. It just wants you to stay alive. Okay. So anytime you try something new, whether it's you post something online, you raise your prices, you speak on a stage, right? That part of your brain, if it's new, it screams, "Danger, don't do this. This could be scary," right? And that's why self-sabotage shows up right before the next level of success is going to happen. I see this all the freaking time. It's not because you're broken, ladies. It's because your fear brain thinks you're walking into a tiger's den, not a sales call. It can't tell the difference between the sales call and the tiger's den. Okay, so if there's any part of your goals and dreams that kind of scare the shit out of you, that little part of your brain is going to go activation mode and to try and protect you. Okay, so that's part one. The second part of your brain is the emotional brain. This part handles your feelings, your memories, your motivation. It runs the show more than we realize because feelings create motion. If you've ever said to yourself, I know what I need to do, but I'm just not doing it. I know you all just literally were like, yeah, that's me, girl. It's because your emotions aren't in alignment with your logical part of your brain yet. This is why tools like meditation and EFT tapping, like the ones inside the Rise app, are so powerful. Because meditation and EFT tapping, guess what they do? They calm the emotional brain, they lower the stress, and make new action feel safe. Because when you feel safe, feel safe, that fear part of your brain starts to dissolve. Like it doesn't say, run for the hills, right? Okay, so we have the fear part of our brain, the reptilian brain. We have the emotional part of our brain. Now we have the logical part of your brain. This is the rational side of everything. It plans, it organizes, it sets goals, it makes the list. It's great at strategy, but terrible at emotion. Right? So the problem is that most women try to think their way to success. And what I mean by that is sometimes they're only using logical thinking, right? And in order to get what we want the fastest, we have to tap into the emotional side. Okay. So we need to not only use logic, yes, right? We talked about that in, I think, gosh, episode 1 or 2 back when we started. I told you how I make powerful aligned decisions, and part of decision making is learning how to overcome fear, right? So go back and watch that episode in case you missed it. But we need to use the logical part, yes, but we also need to tap into the emotional side of things so that all of the negative emotions or the fear-based emotions aren't running the show completely. Okay. That's why success can feel like driving like 1 foot on the gas and 1 foot on the brake. Y'all are not going to go anywhere with this sense of like, I don't know if I can make it. But I want to, right? You cannot think your way out of that feeling. So here's the first cheat code. Write this down. You can't out strategize your subconscious. You have to reprogram it. All right. You can't out strategize your subconscious. You have to reprogram it. All right. So let's break this down even further now. We've all seen the picture, that classic picture of the iceberg in water. If not, just insert Titanic right now into your brain. You're welcome. All right. So I want you to think of that iceberg, right? The very tip of the iceberg is above the water. But what is underneath the water? Yeah, that's the massive part, right? The part that took down the Titanic. So the tip above the water, right? I want you to think of that as your conscious mind. That's 1 to 3%. That's logical, awareness, and goal-oriented. 1 to 3% is what your conscious mind is in charge of. Of all of the things you can do, see, think, and feel, 1 to 3% is your conscious mind. You're only 1 to 3% consciously aware of everything that you're doing. I know. But the 97 to 99%, right, that below surface, that's your unconscious mind. That unconscious mind is running the show. Really, your conscious mind thinks it's running the show, but the unconscious mind is actually running the show. Okay. Your unconscious mind controls your habits, your reactions, your emotions, your automatic thoughts and processes. It stores the perfect body blueprint. It literally knows how to recall memories from things and experiences you've never even remembered experiencing. It's basically the software running the background. Okay. So you can't tell your conscious mind you want to make $20,000 months if your unconscious mind still believes that money equals stress or that success isn't safe. Okay. So if some part of your unconscious mind or your programming is saying, hey, it's not safe to make money. I know consciously that doesn't make sense, but that's what's happening on the unconscious level. Okay. So if any part of that says, ooh, red flag, I don't think this is safe, guess what? You're never, ever going to be able to make those $20,000 months. The unconscious wins every single time. That's why when you try and level up in your business and your health and your relationships or whatever, right, your systems start glitching. Procrastination kicks in, overthinking, self-doubt, perfectionism, right? All of those things kick in as a fail-safe, right? It's not conflict. It's not failure. It's conflict between the minds. And anytime there's conflict, again, it triggers your brain and it's like, no, don't do it. Stop right what you're doing. So the work of reprogramming, or what I call quantum delivery, it's a success code. It's one of 10 that literally allows me to do anything that I put my mind to, is aligning both of the minds so that your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions all move in the same direction. So where do these beliefs come from, right? Because obviously these beliefs are kind of being stored at that unconscious level. These beliefs were created in such a young state. Okay. So when I'm on a mindset retreat with a client, the very first thing that I do is, yes, I explain the mind, right? You have to understand kind of basic concepts, conscious, unconscious, the three different parts of the brain. And when you know these three parts, guys, you can sell anything. And this is what the big box marketing people, politicians, everyone's trained in this shit. So you might as well get the rules of the game so you can win, right? So where do your beliefs come from, right? There's good beliefs, there's empowering beliefs, there's disempowering, there's limiting beliefs. Like there's so many different names out there for them. But at the end of the day, I want to kind of talk about beliefs because it's your belief system that is literally saying, hey, yeah, I don't think this is safe. Nope, we're not going to do this. Remember the last time you tried it? You failed. It didn't feel good. So just don't try it, right? There's some sort of belief that is possibly holding you back. Well, where were all these beliefs formed? Between the ages of 0 and 7, your brain is what is called the theta state, right? So your brain is in this like freaking sponge-like state. It's absorbing everything, the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions, the stories, the things that people are telling you. Whatever you see and hear and experience becomes your blueprint for what's normal. So guess what, ladies? If you heard growing up that money doesn't grow on trees, or women have to work twice as hard, or good girls don't brag, those become your background programming. That shapes your entire adult life. And unless you're consciously updating them, you will keep reliving that on a loop, no matter how many goals you set for yourself. That's why awareness is step number 1. You cannot change what you are not willing to see or not consciously able to see. So once you see the old code, you can start to rewrite it. Okay. So we are going to get to how to rewrite your coding, how to upgrade your belief system. And I'm going to give you a tool called the Thought Swapper. But first, we're going to take a very quick break. I'll see you back soon. All right, ladies, welcome back. I'm about ready to spill the beans on what I call the Thought Swapper tool. And ultimately, this tool is going to help you reprogram those beliefs that are not so empowering. So before we move on, I'm going to ask that you take a big, deep breath in. Just go ahead and take a big, deep breath in and release because we're about to dive into something really, really juicy. But before I do, if this episode is resonating with you, imagine what happens when you combine this type of work that I do with my clients on the mindset side, combined it with the daily mindset tools. It's magical, right? Like truly quantum leaping at its best. And I want to take a moment to not only talk about the Rise app, but also quickly talk about the Cash Flow Codes coaching program. So inside the Rise app, you're going to find meditations and EFT tappings that are going to help you calm your nervous system and reprogram your subconscious mind for success. So women who use this app consistently start seeing massive shifts in their life and in their business in just 30 to 60 days. I mean, more focus, less anxiousness, less procrastination, and clearer follow through. It's incredible. I'm loving the reviews that we're getting from this app. We're in kind of that soft launch stage, and it's just so much fun to see these women literally experiencing in real time how training their brain for success is actually helping them get success. It's so incredible. I'm going to drop the link to the app in the show notes. So if you have questions about it, feel free to check it out, read more about it. It truly is the best $11.11 that you can ever spend a month. It's better than Netflix. It's like freaking mindset, training like a Netflix account. But okay, anyways, and then the next thing I want to quickly talk to you about is if you are looking for a coach in 2026, if you're looking for live support, a no bullshit strategy to help you, go take those strategies to the next level, to actually do the thing, to figure out sales, to understand marketing and branding, come and join me inside Cashflow Codes. It's my monthly coaching membership for ambitious women who want simple systems, energetic alignment, and high ticket sales that feel effortless. And guys, it's just $66 a month. Like literally, you can't even go out to dinner with your family of three anymore for that price. And this is a monthly membership where you can kind of come in and figure everything out, start your business off on the right note in 2026. I freaking dare you to do it. It's amazing. The women in that group are incredible. All right, so back to the show. Now, if you know how your brain, now that you know how your brain works, right, and where your beliefs come from, let's talk about how to change the ones that don't serve you. Okay, the easiest and most effective way is to work with a certified mindset coach who works with submodalities such as NLP, timeline therapy, and hypnosis, right? That is the fastest way to program your mind for success. I'm telling you right now. Okay. What takes 20 years in a therapist chair, someone who is certified in NLP can do in probably 2 or 3 hours. Hello, I just saved you so much time and money. You're welcome. So if you're interested in working with me on the mindset side of things, just reach out. You can always send me a DM. I answer all of my DMs on Facebook and Instagram, and of course LinkedIn. But so that's the fastest way. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that this next tool that I'm about to give you is the ultimate fastest way, because it's not. The fastest way is to actually work with a professional who is trained to help you remove those limiting beliefs, get fresh perspectives on them, and help you step into your next powerful era. But I have found that this tool called the Thought Swapper is a really great second. And what I love about this tool is it's simple, it's free, and it's powerful. It just takes a little bit longer because you have to do all the work all by yourself, okay? So here's how it works. Write this down and then probably replay this episode because it's going to be a game changer for you. So the Thought Swapper is 4 separate steps. They're simple steps, but you have to do it consistently for it to work, okay? So step number 1 is awareness. For 1 week, I want you to start noticing all of your thoughts. Every time, and I know that was like a loaded question because I know you can't even notice, like I said, 1 to 3%, but I want you to start to get consciously aware of your thoughts. I'll say that. Every time you feel resistance, every time you feel doubt, fear, right? Anytime that itty bitty shitty committee inside of your head starts saying, oh, I don't think you should do this. Oh, you're not ready for that. Oh, you can't charge that, right? These are thoughts that have that we call programming, right? These are thoughts that are running the show. They're keeping you playing small. So step number 1 is awareness. Okay, so just be aware and write down all of these not so empowering thoughts, right? I'm not ready. No one's buying right now. What if they think I'm too expensive? What if I think they're not enough? Like blah, 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 blah. I've heard them all and I've reprogrammed them all. There's nothing I can't reprogram. Okay. All right. So step number 1 is awareness. You cannot change what you are not aware of. Okay. Step number 2 is identify what we call the first domino. So your goal after you write down all of this list of stuff, and we call it stuff, like shit and stuff together, okay? So once you write down all the stuff that's happening in your mind, the thoughts, the behaviors, the patterns, the habits, right? Then I want you to write it all down and I want you to look at that list and I want you to say the domino, right? Look for the one belief, the one story that keeps showing up everywhere. That is typically the root problem, the program, like the hardcore virus that's in the brain, right? That's the root program. That's the one that knocks all the others down. So quite honestly, when women come to me, it's like, I'm not smart enough, I'm not lovable enough, I'm not this, I'm not that. And at the end of the day, we figure out the root one, right? The biggest one holding them back. And we start there. Okay. So just identify. That's step 2. That's the easiest one. Step 3 is what we call catch, swap, and replace. This is truly the thought swapper. So now it's your job, once you identify the one belief that you need to start working on, now it's your job to catch that belief when you say it, because right now it's been a habit, it's a pattern. You've been saying this for years, that you're not smart enough, old enough, young enough, sexy enough, smart enough, whatever. You've been saying it for years. Some of you have been saying it for decades. So of course it's a habit, but the goal is to catch the thought, okay, the old program where they would say, no one wants what I offer, and replace it with a new one. Right? So instead of the old, you're going to say, I don't think so. Throw that away. And then you're going to imprint the new one. You're going to say, I create results people are searching for right now. Right? It's a thought swapper. You're going to take one old thought out, you're going to swap it away, and you're going to imprint a new thought into your subconscious. Okay. The reason why this works is your unconscious mind, it loves repetition. So the more you do this, the easier and faster it becomes. Step number 4 is what we call collect evidence. Every time something good happens in your life, a DM, a new sale, a compliment, a win, your job is to write it down and type it in your phone or write it down. Tell your coach or just simply say, it's working, right? But I like to call this evidence because every piece of proof reinforces the new belief. All right, that's the 4 simple steps. I told you you're going to want to go back and rewind and watch it and play it again. And I could give you example after example, but I'm not going to do that today. So here's the truth, Queen. If you can change your thoughts, you can change your results. You have all of the cheat codes deep within you, and if not, you can reprogram them. Your brain is not your enemy. It's your most powerful ally, but only if you learn how to master it. So you now have the foundation to that mastering that cheat code. You understand the 3 parts of the brain. You know how the conscious and the unconscious mind work. You know where your beliefs are formed. And now you know how to start reprogramming with the thought swapper. This is what I mean by quantum delivery. You are literally delivering the success codes into your brain every day. Learning to deliver new commands to your brain so that your thoughts, so that your energy and your identity align with the next level you. So ladies, when you learn these cheat codes, you start to collapse time. You stop fighting your brain and you start partnering with it. That's when business, money, and life truly begin to flow. All right. So ladies, join me next week because we are talking about the energy mastery, right? The top habits that help me, that help keep my energy strong, that keep me grounded and magnetic. And energy has everything to do with sales and marketing. I'm telling you guys, this is not my first rodeo. I have truly mastered the mind and the strategy. Then the following week, we're going to move into identity upgrading, how to become the woman who's already living the results that you want. So until then, ladies, remember, you are not your thoughts. You are the woman who commands them. I love you. I believe in you, and I will see you next week. Red smoke, drifting and winning at the game of life and business. I'll see you later. That's a wrap for today's episode of Big Money Sales Moves. Say goodbye to hustle and grind and burnout, and hello to ethical sales and Alpha Queen strategies. If you're ready to master high-ticket sales, scale your business, or grow your empire, head on over to www.alphaqueencollective.com and make your next big money move today.